Hi, welcome to Salon Today Conversations. I'm Stacy Sobel, and today I'm being joined by Sudheer Koneru, the CEO of Zenoti. And we are going to launch a four-part series of conversations that's going to dive into some insights about the industry we all love. And we're calling it the Ennergize a Leadership Huddle. And this is the first one of those. And with a focus on beauty, wellness, and fitness, Zenoti's mission is to help each business run, grow, and prosper, even when that goes beyond the software. When you see an opportunity to drive positive impact, you invest in it. And since this is the first in our series, give us a little background on Zenoti and how you came to love this industry so much.
Yeah, sure, Stacy. I have actually spent almost 16 years of my career doing general horizontal technology between Microsoft and large enterprise software, focused on like S&P 500 kind of very big companies. But along the way, after all that experience, I got very passionate about wellness. Which is very unusual for a person of my nature, I opened a chain of gym, spa, salon, and yoga, everything integrated in one store. We had about 6 of these stores, and I really was passionate because I wanted to help others, to make wellness a part of their life. And I ran it with a lot of passion, sat at the front desk, worked with trainers, worked with training our beauty staff and salon staff, etc. as well. But I realized, if I love this industry so much, maybe I should go build software for the industry, because that's what I'm actually good at versus running the brick and mortar business. So I ended up exiting that business. Somebody else, some company acquired that. But then that's how Zenoti was born. Also because I did see a lot of opportunity in terms of not seeing good software when I was scaling my business. And so we ended up building software which was meant for businesses which are scaling and growing kind of stuff. So it's more enterprise oriented for larger businesses than for the starting off in a small salon kind of stuff. Yeah.
How many customers do you have today?
Yeah, we have now over 30,000 businesses using Zenoti. So it's been a long journey, more than 10 years, but
wow,
we are only starting to accelerate now. Yes.
With that many customers, you must gain some really interesting insight. What are some things you could share with us?
Yeah, so that's one thing we really take pride in. See, as we built our system, because we were an enterprise kind of software, we ensured that as we grew, we are able to bring insights to the industry. So because, the best way to get insights is, of course, the qualitative aspect of working with so many successful brands, but more importantly, the data aspects, so we have aggregated data across all these 30,000 businesses, and we share it back with the industry as a benchmark report, which is generally available to everyone. But we also do more insightful stuff for Zenoti customers to understand where do you sit and what's happening in the industry. Some examples like, last year we found that nail salons had the best growth in all categories across different categories. And they saw more than 12% revenue growth versus the industry average being about 5%.
Wow.
The other thing we found is that businesses which had much better online booking and rebooking the whole experience online, which had nicer things, they saw much higher growth than those which didn't invest in those things. So clearly the online digital stuff seemed to be making an impact. The other is membership is becoming mainstream, even in salons, not just in spas. I know spas have had this for a while, but we found that membership-based businesses grew a lot faster in all categories than the non-membership businesses. And then finally, and one more example I would give is, of course, gift cards have always been part of the industry, but we found that mostly online sales of gift cards have really taken off compared to the in-store gift card sales. And so any business which is not investing in online gift card is losing out, because I think people are running out of things to gift. And so gifting experiences is much nicer between family and friends. And that's a trend we are seeing increase kind of thing. So
we just got back from Premier Orlando, and we saw that explosion in nails in the vendors that were there. There were companies I hadn't heard of, and their booths were just gorgeous. So it's fueling it from that side as well. But it was really interesting to see that explosion in nails. And I love that what you're saying is that the growth last year, but really is backing that up.
Yeah, and I see some beautiful brands also really investing heavily, like, even not just in the US side, we have, of course, brands like Minilux, Frenchies, a bunch of brands which are doing. But recently I was in the UK and I visited a brand who's a customer of ours called Townhouse. And they have such a beautiful experience inside the store, and they're like really investing heavily to scale it. So clearly, this is a category which is booming, because of which so many investors are putting in money to say, let's build out a business. I think there's an opportunity here. Yeah.
Now, you've also been one of the longtime supporters of Salon Today's Datadriven. So we share an affinity for the love of data and what that can reveal about the business. And you have a conference coming up in the fall called Innergize. And last year, data and AI were a big focus for you. So tell us a little bit about Innergize and what's going to be happening this year.
Yeah, so Energize is our event. Given that we work with so many large brands, we said, how do we give back to the industry? So we put this event together where the leaders of all the big brands come together kind of in under one umbrella. But it's open to everyone. It's not about Zenoti customers. Anyone can attend these events. And the event is about the industry. It's not about Zenoti and our software. What we do is really at the event, we bring together more insights and data. We dig deeper. As examples, I would say, last time we tried to analyze, what is the correlation between employee retention and revenue growth kind of stuff. And naturally, people would expect, if you have better employee retention, obviously you'll have better revenue growth. But when you look at data speaks so much stark difference that people wake up saying, oh, wow, I didn't realize that's big of difference kind of stuff. So we bring out key data points for the industry as kicking off the event. And then we have leaders talk about each of those data points, whether it is, hey, what's happening with no-shows and cancellations, and what does data show about that? How much is it hurting the businesses? Then four people get together on one of the topics, and they talk about it, saying, what are the business challenges of handling no-shows? And, can you really ask for a card on file? Can you really ask for a deposit? Do you lose business? So they share their perspectives of how they're doing all these things. And so I think that's why it becomes super relevant for the industry, because it's a conference by the industry leaders for the industry. The only thing Zenoti is doing is bringing data to the table and saying, hey, here are the relevant topics. And why don't you guys discuss these topics and tell us how you are doing in your businesses? So last time, people walked away loving it, in the sense that it was so focused around what and actionable for them to go back and do something about it in their business.
So it sounds like you're bringing in the data insights, but you're tapping into these leaders in the different areas to bring best practices around those insights and their own personal experiences. That's great.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
And I know we're actually delighted to share that you're extending a special discount to all the Salon Today viewers today, and to join Energize 2024, there's a code that's going to give them $300 off registration, and that code is Salon Today EB for early bird. So Salon Today EB. So I just wanted to share that. But when you do convene that many leaders at one time, it's definitely creates a brain trust. What do you believe that customers took away from that last year, or salon owners?
Yeah, so I think last year definitely took away some of the data points, the salient highlights of all the data. But also they took away a lot of the best practices in terms of what each brands are doing, other brands in the industry. And the other thing is definitely, we did have a bunch of education around AI, because AI is so new to the industry. We had business leaders from Amazon come and talk about what's happening with AI and what they see the impact could be to our industry and all those aspects. And we also shared a little bit of color around, AI at the event. And I think we had some more futuristic visions of where will this industry be from someone else in the industry itself, about where do they see it kind of stuff, how do they see things evolve, not from Zenoti's viewpoint, but from somebody in the industry. So I think those were their key takeaways. We also did, of course, at this event celebrate, because this event, the industry is about providers. So we celebrate providers. So we actually use data to highlight the best providers in the industry. Again, it's not Zenoti picking it. It's just based on a bunch of different parameters, including revenue, customer sat, and repeatability of customers to see who's the best stylist, who's the best barber, or who's the best med spa esthetician. So we had a whole bunch of that. So I think a deeper appreciation for using data as a way to run their business, just like you make it a priority with data-driven. I think more and more of the bigger leaders wake up to saying it's about following the data,
Well, and with the intelligence on the data, you're able to really identify who those people are that are excelling in different areas like membership or nails or some of those other things. And I'd like to tap into you about membership. That's something that was definitely is a point of conversation this year. We're hearing a lot. People want to know more how to run a successful membership program in a salon because it is very common for a spa, but it's kind of a newer emerging thing for a lot of salon owners.
For a salon. So there was talks on that alone kind of stuff to say, how do you open that by somebody from the industry? How did they go about doing it and all that? Yes.
What do you include in a monthly membership? Yeah.
Yep, absolutely.
Well, you tapped in with AI, and that's definitely a hot button for the industry right now. And it's really something I think that a lot of owners are cautiously looking at, a little intimidated by. How are you seeing salons tap into AI?
Yeah, so at least it's still early stages, obviously, for salons to be adopting AI. And we have a core philosophy around how people should approach AI, and we call it something called AI first. AI first, by that, what we imply is if there is any task in a salon, give AI first crack at it. And if you're not happy with what it did, then people still remain in control. Like if you're trying to create a marketing mailer, tell AI to create it, Mother's Day campaign, I want to do XYZ. And then if you don't like it, you still are in control, As we go forward, even other extremes of saying if your phone call comes in, let an AI agent answer the phone call. Will the customer even know they're talking to an AI agent? Today, I think the technology is there where you can have a phone line which is being totally powered by AI. But then at the same time, AI can transcribe the call, alert saying, hey, that call didn't go very well to the front desk instantly so that people are still in control where they can call the customer back saying, hey, I saw you call, didn't get what you wanted, but maybe 80% of the calls are handled well by AI kind of stuff, right? So we are firm believers of this approach called AI first. Everything, you're trying to create an employee schedule for the next 2 weeks, give AI first crack and say, what should the schedule look like? And if you don't like the schedule that it creates, then you can always go tweak it a little bit. So I think our industry is all about people in touch. So that's not changing, obviously. It's just that you have to take the best of AI and bring to ensure that you can bring the best out of people, kind of is how we think of it. So there's a lot of innovation we ourselves have been working on. In fact, we just today have released a whole series of AI capabilities and announced it on our website and along the lines of this AI first philosophy.
I know we're doing the same thing, but it's like sometimes you're not asking it to do the job for you, but you're asking it to help you do the job better.
Yes. Yeah, and I think it'll improve productivity. It'll help the industry become more profitable, because it is a tough industry. We have just come out of COVID and people are starting to recover revenues, but I think AI will drive more profit margins to be better in the industry is my hunch a little bit. And that should make the industry overall more healthy.
I'm really excited that we're going to be diving into these conversations. Do you want to tweak a little, share some of the things that are maybe going to be coming up in some of our Enlightened Conversations?
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to these. You're going to actually have some conversations even with our customers leading it, not just me being involved. Hearing some of the really meaningful innovation that Zenoti has done is hard for me to explain, and I wanted them to hear it from customers directly in the future sessions. But we have done a lot of work on how do you help people build brands which consumers fall in love with. Like you have the Ritz-Carlton or the Four Seasons or Apple. People love these brands. So how do we create salon spa brands which people fall in love with? And it's been a focus of ours, and we have been doing some work with AI and other elements. And so it'll be interesting to hear how people are using those and how is it helping them to surprise and delight their customers beyond what was expected, kind of thing. So
I'm really looking forward to that. That'll be great to dive into
yeah.
that.
Sure.
Share again, where is Energize? When?
Oh yeah, Innergize is October 14th and 15th in Las Vegas at MGM Grand Hotel, and we are looking forward to it. Of course, the big focus of this time's Innergize is you'll hear a lot of people about how are they using AI. It was last time we just introduced the concept, but by October this year, you'll have enough salons since past having applied AI, and so it's not just about the technology of AI; it's their experience of how it is helping them to improve margins and drive customer delight. So that will be the big focus, and that makes it all the more important, I think, because of the defining window of AI's impact on our industry for more people to explore attending it.
People go to Zenoti.com to find out more about Energize. Is that?
Yeah, they can go to
Okay.
Zenoti.com, and the Energize site is also linked there, but it's energize.me is the site for Energize.
And it's Energize with an I.
With an I, yes,
Yeah.
not energize, it's Innergize. Yes. So,
Energize.
yes.
Well, thank you so much. And I look forward to these conversations, and thanks for joining me today.
Yeah, thanks, Stacey. Wonderful having this conversation.